Sometimes it's the news that finds the journalist, and that's exactly what happened to a Dallas Morning News photographer this week who unexpectedly came face to face with a masked gunman, raising questions about the risks a reporter should take to get the story.
He didn't go past me.
Tom Fox was covering another story at Dallas's federal courthouse when he found himself in the middle of a shooting.
Which way did he go? No, he didn't come past me.
As the shooting unfolded, Fox became part of the story.
A photographer for the Dallas Morning News takes this dramatic picture showing the gunman.
Tom Fox, a photographer with the Dallas Morning News, was hiding just steps away from the shooter outside the building.
Fox admits that despite being in mortal danger, his instinct to grab his camera kicked in.
I just went into, okay, this is my job. This is what I've been doing for almost 30 years. Just stay close to the story, but not in danger.
Okay, but the line between right place, right time and wrong place, wrong time can be very, very thin. We're all in the news business, and your instincts are always, I remember running to get my press credentials and going towards the bombing because I was right in the neighborhood when I heard it. But this, I mean, you guys got a guy with I thought that was a collapse, by the way, of the stadium. This guy was, hearing gunshots and right next to him, and it was like having the wherewithal to do that. I don't think I would.
I think instinct kicks in. You grab your camera because that is what you have in your hand. You don't necessarily try to run because you can identify that there is a story unfolding. So you try to get a few frames and then take care of yourself. I mean, that video shot from across the street where you can see him just 10 feet away and you see the bullets hitting the stone right next to him. I don't think you're thinking about how do I get away. You're thinking, all right, what can I do in this moment?
Really?
My camera's in my hand.
I think that instincts and experience kick in at that moment. He had experience of, I think, 27, 28 years, something like that. He took calculated risks in the moment, and he got the pictures. He won a Pulitzer for photography at Hurricane Katrina. I think he should win another one for this. I think he's that good.
I mean, no picture's worth the risk to life, but if you follow Tom Fox's account, he kind of talks about getting stuck. I don't think he really wanted to get stuck in the situation that he was in.
He was praying the guy wouldn't come around the corner.
But then he took some pictures anyway. I wonder if he might actually be denied the Pulitzer because you don't want to encourage this kind of risk-taking.
Good point.
Really? I don't know.
Could be.
We'll see.
I would just point out that that's with photographers, that is an instinct, and I'm thinking closer to home, different situation. The photographer who shot his house burning in that neighborhood that just burned down here about a week ago, his own house was burning, so he shot the picture of his house as it burned because that was part of the story. And it's a different situation, of course, but I'm not sure that would be my first instinct. I'd be looking for the water. So I think there's something, and then let's not forget the very courageous war photographers who've, many of them have died in the service of trying to get these shots so that they can show you what's really going on in other parts of the world. And that's what they do all the time. So my hat's off to them.
Yeah, Tyler Hicks and a number of photographers died covering the wars in the Middle East. So that's why I can't believe, Dan, that the Pulitzer Committee would take that into consideration when we encourage, our war photographers.
Well, war photography is a different thing.
Yeah.
I think, though, you see this instinct. Either you have it or you don't. You see the Parkland students, the student journalists there who they're in lockdown, and what do? They start documenting. They start writing. They're writing on their phones. They're texting their parents and saying we might die, but they're also writing it down in case they can write the story afterwards. And they did some incredible coverage under terrible, terrible stress and fearful conditions. So I think some people are just built for this, and this photographer is.
Yeah.
And don't forget the Channel 5 photographer whose name?
Stanley Foreman.
Thank you.
Yeah, who shot Ted Landsmark on City Hall Plaza being speared with an American flag.
And also those children being dropped out of the window.
A
lot of great photos.
Exactly. So.